Hello everyone, welcome to the ClickyWalls, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Tudor townhouse. From this video you'll learn all about the Tudor townhouse, how to build it and all the different features of it. So this is the front of the building. We got a nice little porch doorway and we got the pathways here. Now you don't have to have this bit, this is optional. And these floor pieces are designed to be flocked up with some static grass. Again, optional. And in here will be a little pond section. So by the time you watch this video, this will probably be available, but I've not actually made it yet. It's the one piece that I haven't done. And again, this is optional. This back fence here. These are quite unique. They print like a normal wall, so you get a wall frame. And then they just click out, so you just pop them out of the framework, and then you've got two pieces. You've got your fence piece that you can use like this, and then the frame piece you can use inside instead of using bottom beams and top beams and things like that. You can just use the whole framework, and the wooden wall that pops out, it just acts as a brace, as like a support if you like. So rather than throwing it away, I designed a little fence that you can use. And just turning it around, we got the chimney sections. Now as you see, these are printed out white, so it makes the whole thing look a little bit strange at the moment. The reason they're white is because we're going to have the mortar between the bricks is going to be a pale grey, so we'll put a black wash over it, and that will give you the grey mortar. And then we would dry brush the bricks a sort of orangey red colour, like terracotta, to make them look nice and natural. And then you just pick out all the little individual colours. We will be doing a painting tutorial on this. If you have a little look out on the website, or if you follow the forum, we'll let you know as soon as we've done that. Or just subscribe to the channel, that's another way, and then when we do the painting tutorial, that will come up on this channel as well. All these windows are printed in place and they're all articulable, so they all open on little hinges. The roof sections are removable to give you easy access just to certain areas. So that, for example, if you wanted access to the loft space in there, I'll move that forward so you can see, gives you loft access. Then you've got like a little loft hatch as well. Or if you want to, you can take off both bits, so you've got plenty of access. Obviously, because this is all modular, you can just take the whole roof off to give you access like that. And also each floor is removable as well, so when you're playing, it makes it nice and quick and easy to take levels off, put levels on, and give you the access of the whole building there. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how you take this apart and how you put it back together again. So with little bits like this, you can just twist them. It's a little bit more difficult, so when it's all in one piece like this, it's difficult to take it apart because it does lock in. It is quite firm. However, if you're somebody that keeps taking it apart and putting it back together, taking it apart and putting it back together and building lots of different things from it, which obviously you can do, over time sometimes the little connectors can get a little bit weak. And in that sort of situation, what I'd recommend is you just build something, glue the little bits together, and then just keep that building as it is. The floor sections just pop out. This is a unique floor section for this building because it just fits in around these two pieces. Most of the pieces are universal. That's the easiest way I've found to get it apart, take it apart, is twist it that way. Then when you've got bits like this, you twist it like that. But you do need to be careful with some pieces like the fences. These are quite strong ones, but if they're a bit fragile, just make sure that you're pulling it apart like that and you're not doing that where you could damage the pieces like that. I just want to show you the main structure, because obviously like fences, you can just build it as big or as small as you want, or not have any fences. I'm not going to take everything out. There is a print list on the website So once you've printed everything, or you might just want to do it a floor at a time. So for example, there's a print list for the floor. Get all those bits printed first and then you can start building straight away. But for this, I just wanted to show you it like this. There is build instructions on the website, piece by piece. But to be honest, once you've got all the bits, it's quite straightforward and how it's put together. Again, with the chimneys, you can put them wherever you want. If you don't want the chimney here, you could have it over this side and by the side of the door, or you could have it on the back of the house, or not have any chimneys at all. It's completely up to you. This little section here is a little doorway. Otherwise, these are all the same, these little half walls, and then you'll just simply clicking it all together. Generally we use these cross connectors to connect everything together, but you can use something like a T connector like we've got on this side here, or an elbow like what we've got on this side, which is, it doesn't have these little bits that click in, so it's smooth, so it gives you a nicer transition. If you do have those, obviously it makes it difficult. You wouldn't then be able to put a fence here, whereas you would on this one. So you just want to consider that. If you don't mind these little bits sticking out, which I personally don't mind, then just use them on everything. So the basic structure is an L shape. You start with maybe your main door there, which is the porch door. Put your connectors on, and then this window here is got the planter on it. So with this you could fill it with some resin, maybe a little bit of brown paint in there to make it look a little bit disgusting, and it could be almost like a little water trough for a horse or something like that. Or what I'm planning on doing in the paint build is we're just going to put some flowers in there, so we'll put some sort of shrubs and things like that in there to make it look nice. On the opposite end here you've got like the bay window, these are opening. These little ones open as well, so it all opens up. Everything's printed in place, so you don't need any supports when you're printing these. Guys, it's important to remember, sometimes it will come up when you're printing saying you need support, but you don't. Just ignore it, it will print perfectly fine without it. We start with that porch window, then we have the planter window, and then this one. This could be another window if you want, this could be another window, but all I've put in here is the stud wall, and then on this one we've put the timber wall. The only difference between the stud wall and the timber wall is the studs are just straight timbers, and then the timber wall has got the curved timbers in there. And then this one joining them up is internal, it's just called the internal door. There is one that has a window in it as well, but I chose this one without the window. And then, as I say, we got the two small bits there. This is just a normal one. This is the one with the little doorway in it. So again, it's just a little hinge on there. So it's like a little back door. And then this is the same as the other window that we've got at the front of the building, except it doesn't have the planter on the front. So it's just a double window. And so when you're putting it together, it's a good idea if you've got a table like this, keep it on a flat surface, put it together, and then just wiggle it in to snap it together. The other way that you can do it is you line it up at the top like this, get that in, and then snap at the bottom. It's a little bit more difficult to get it lined up that way, but you can do it that way if you want. If you've got a flat surface, I prefer the flat surface. And obviously you can hear that snap in there, so it really does click in. Which means it's very strong. So you see I've just snapped these little bits in, you can pick the whole thing up, and it is really strong and sturdy, and it will stay like that unless you keep clicking and unclicking. Obviously there are limitations to every material. Maybe if you printed it in carbon fibre it would last a bit longer, I'm not sure, I've not tried it. This is just the cheapest filament, which is PLA. It's the easiest to use as well, you don't need ridiculous temperatures or anything like that. You don't need special nozzles, it doesn't need to be an enclosed printer, so you can just get one of the cheap little bamboos for a couple £100. A1 is big enough to do all the large floor flockers and everything in our system. Everything that we do can be printed on just a little A1. I'm not sure about the Mini because I know that's got a smaller print bed, so I'm not sure, I haven't tested it, I don't know what, whether you could print all of our pieces. To be honest, you'd be able to print most of them, but some of the bigger pieces like the floor flockers, the quad flockers, sorry, which are the size of sort of that sort of size for all in one, a little bit bigger than that. They're probably the only ones that you'd struggle with. Otherwise everything else can be printed. Sorry about the noises, guys. I'm in my garden today, so it's my day off, so I'm working from home. So that's the first floor, and then these are called B&Bs, which are the beams. They just hold everything together, so it clicks and holds, so it keeps its shape better. But also, when you then put your floor in, it just gives you that sturdiness there to put the floor in. The floor rests on it, and then the raised bits in the middle, so that it just comes up to the same floor level. There's all sorts of different beams that you can use in this situation. We've got some which are really flat, which is the C beams, and I think the A ones are the same. They haven't got this middle bit, but the ends are higher, and they're all different for different sort of situations. But for most builds, you're going to be using the B&B beams, B&Bs. Okay. The doors are designed to open either in or out, and as you can see on this one, even with the floor in, they're above the floor level. And it's the same with the little garden fences as well. If you can have a floor, and that there's clearance on those as well. So I'll just go through them. Sometimes they're a little bit tight, I noticed, on the beams, the timber walls, just because they've got extra beams on there that stick out a little bit. And sometimes when you're putting the floors in, you might get them caught on like a little door handle or a window, so you just have to make sure you've got it lined up properly, and then they should just fit in snugly. Some walls are slightly different sizes, so you might find that the floors do move a little bit. So like that is going, because it's getting caught on that door handle, so we just go in that way. Drop it down like that, and you're literally just dropping your floors in like that, and that's level 1 done. So for the second level, this is a little bit more involved, just because we're now getting into the roof section. So on this end here, we just got a normal window like we have on the other one. We've also got a window there. So they're the only two walls on the top here, except this one at the front, and this one is the porch roof one. So that is just designed so it goes over the top of your porch. So that's your starting point. And then we've got these roof sections. So this is one of the most common roof sections that we do. It gets used quite a lot in all the builds. Again, it just clips on, and then you'd have two of those, and then these are called the crowns, and then these are called the parapet beams. So this essentially is exactly the same as the B&B beams, but it's got like a little bit of detail on there. Okay, and then the crowns just click in to those, so you can build a framework of these up, which then hold the roof. So for example, you just click that in there and there at the bottom of these gables, and then this one, it doesn't really click, it just sits on the top, because this part is designed to be removable. And then you just put the corresponding roof section in. So say there's 3 different size roofs. So you've got the normal, it's like the normal size with the, you know, your average sort of size roof there. Then you've got the smaller ones, which are a little bit smaller than those, but they're the same width and dimensions and everything like that, other than the height of them is different, and it's the same as this, exactly the same, but obviously it's too big to go on there, so it's not designed for that. And these ones, they work exactly the same as these. It's just that instead of it being the half size of the tile, it's the full width. So whereas this one, if I put the floor in, let me just show you this a minute, just to explain the difference between these floors. So that's a normal floor, which you could put in there, However, your roof's not going to fit in quite as well. It's not too bad. It's still it does still work. You can still put it in, but it's not. It doesn't fit quite as nice. And the reason for that is that this can't go down because we got a little bit here. So that's why you put these loft floor sections in. So they're just a little bit smaller. Get it in there. There we go. So they're a little bit smaller. They just give that little bit of space there to allow that to go all the way down properly. So it just sits in nicer. You just got that little area there. And then it's got the little raised up area. Then we've got a little ladder here. And this ladder is for the loft area. So if I just show you this one quickly. So that ladder is just designed to go up into this loft area. Again, this loft is exactly the same principle as this one, but it's on both sides because you got these parapet beams on both sides. There we go. So that's that. And we'll take that back off a minute as well. So just go back to explaining this. This balustrade is so that we don't have a floor section in here, but you could put one in if you wanted to. You could take that out and you could put another normal beam in if you wanted to have a floor in there. You could, so to increase your overall upstairs floor space. But I wanted this almost like a little gallery, so that if your characters are up here, this is where your floor is. Look. So if your characters are up here, there's now just a little bit more interest. They could jump over there into the downstairs section, or possibly climb up if they're sneaking around, depending on, you know, what's happening in your game. With these floors also, you could have a little bit of a floor there, for example, if you wanted that little bit of loft space. Or you've got the stair pieces as well, so if you had that, you could pop that bit in there. This is actually designed to go in this side under where the ladder is, because on this level we've got the staircase. You can have the stairs going that way, or you could put it that way. I think I'd probably put it that way just because you've got the little loft ladder up there. So this way your characters, it's not going to get in the way as your characters are moving up. And this is why the stairs in these are big, because obviously they're big enough to put a character on. So you could stop halfway coming up the stairs, for example, and have cover and things like that. These ones this side are just exactly the same as that. And although I put that on there to show you the roofs earlier, that's not actually what goes there. It's the next floor is this one. And as you can see, so these chimney bits are the same, but then this top bit is different because it's the bit with the chimney, and there's two different sorts with this building. You got the tall one there, and then you got the little one there, and again you could change them around, have them the other way, or you could have a big tall chimney if you want. You also get a much bigger chimney, so this has just got 2 chimney pots on it. The other one has got 4, might even have 6, can't remember. So if you wanted to, you could have a big chimney on there. Let's just say that you didn't want this to be a townhouse, you wanted it to be a distillery or something like that, and you feel like you'd need a big chimney or some sort of factory going on. You've got the option in there to have a big chimney as well. Anyway, that's the chimney section. So put this on. Now this is very straightforward again. So you've got these gable ends. These are the normal size ones, which match. They're basically double the size of these ones. And then on this side we've got the small one. So it's the same width as a whole beam, but it's a lot lower. So it's half the height. So instead of being 60mm high, it's 30mm high. And this is a very unusual piece in this build, in that it has both. So you've got your normal gable end there, and then on the outside of it you've got one of these embedded into it, which allows you just to pop this beam in and then have 2 different height roofs on the same level. That's not right. That's the wrong way around. It's the same, it's just the chimneys are in a different place. But you could, if you wanted to. So this is designed so that you've got the high bit here and the low bit here. But if you want to, you could have it this way round. So this slopes up. Let me just show you. So I put these roofs on first just so you can see. So they go like that. And then this one has been that in there as well. So that just goes in that bit. So this has been designed to go that way round. Now just bear in mind that they have to go under these bits of roofs. So you will just have to lift those up a little bit. So you can have it, this has been designed like this. So you've got a steep roof, a shallow roof, and then it goes down. This follows the line of that one. But if you want to, you could switch this round, I'll get out, switch it round and have it this way. If you do have it this way, obviously we would take this chimney off and just snap it into that side, take this one off and put it on that side. And then we've got the roof which goes this way round. So now that's in line with that one. And this one is not in line with that one, so it comes up taller. I think I prefer it this way round. I like the fact that you can choose and it's really quick to change it. You could literally put this house together like this, and just by changing those chimney sections or not having any chimney sections on, you can see how you could change that up quite quickly and easily. Also, you could see how you could turn this into a church. We can make a really good church this building. So you've got, you've got your bits up here. You just bring this out a bit bigger. I would probably bring this roof out like that. We haven't at the moment got corner bits that would just fit in to turn this round this way on these, but we have got a bit which would, if you doubled the size of this, we've got roof corners that will go round there. They're in the Raven Roofs build set, and then that little roof just fits in there, and then that's just our little loft hatch which was in this one. It was in that one, but we've moved it, haven't we? So that just goes in there like that. And there you go. When you're playing, this one is a little bit low, so it hasn't got a floor in there. But you could put the loft section in there as well if you wanted to. You could just print another one of these floors, and it would fit in that just as well, but you wouldn't have the height. So I just didn't bother putting one in here. When you're playing, you could just take that off if you want to, if your players are up there. Also, there is a bundle called Raven Roofs, which gives you this style roof with some dormers coming out. Lots of different window sections, and you do get a couple of dormers with the Raven roofs as well. And I will be doing some more for these little ones, and I will be doing the angles and things like that, and they will be added in. So even if you buy a bundle like that, it doesn't mean that I'm not ever updating once they're released. I'm always reiterating and updating and adding more details into all these buildings. Which, for example, this is already released. It's on the website at the moment. You can buy it. It's like £8. It's not very expensive. Really good value for money, considering what you can build out of it. Not just this building, but you can build a whole town of different buildings by just putting different walls in and putting the roofs and things in, in a different order. But as I say, the fences are being added. The little floor pieces are being added. I've got the little pond bit. As soon as that's done, that's going to be added to the bundle as well. So it's always worth checking on the website. If you've bought something from us in the past and you're thinking of printing it again or building something else from it, just check on the website. just re-download, and because the files may be updated, because there's little things like the tweak as well. So this is a good example actually. This window here is the old style window. I haven't even popped these ones out. They've got little tabs that you just need to break the tab, and then you've got an opening window, which works perfectly fine. However, these are not very strong and they can break over time. So I'm phasing these out. These have actually been reprinted now. So these windows, they look very similar to these windows, but these windows, they're a lot looser, so they're easier to open. They take very little effort to open, but more importantly, they got the little barrel hinges. So these are super strong, and would take a lot more force to break one of these. Whereas these, you can see I could just bend it a little bit too much, or when you're trying to pop them out, sometimes, there you go, it's just gone. They break. If you have got these old style and they do break, it's not the end of the world, because they do kind of clip back in, so they can still be used even if they're broken. But obviously it's not ideal, which is why I went back, I fixed the problem with these. They open a lot easier, they print better as well because they are stronger, they're a little bit thicker, especially around the hinge section. That is why some of the buildings online, the videos and things that we've done, you might be watching it and thinking, oh, that's a different type of hinge or whatever, and it's because they are being updated all the time. They're being improved. So there we go. That is the Tudor townhouse. Now, before I put that on the wrong way again, look, so maybe it's supposed to be that way. I don't know. You could change this up quite quickly. If you wanted a different style house, and you could just take that roof off, and you could take this wall out and put it in there. In fact, let's just do it. I'll show you how quick and easy it is just to turn things around. So this time we're going to have a little planter there, put that in there like that, pop that back on there, pop that roof, let's turn it round so the chimneys are in the right position, put that back in there like that, put the roofs back on, not that one, that one. So now we've got a totally different feel to the house. It's got an upper balcony, which you could leave like that, or you could take that out, put one of these in, or you could print another window, or we got like little balconies that can click on in some of the other buildings, or you could have one of these up here or down there and then this up there. Change it really quickly, really easily, however you want. If you wanted to, you could take this section off, so again you've just got that, or you could take that off so you haven't got the slope going this way, switch it round so you've got another one of these that side. Just let your imagination go with it and just have a play around, build something, see what you like. You could put this side, so you got your door in the middle, or you could have, big bit coming out, big bit coming out, so you got almost like your wings on there. You could turn these roofs around so they're facing that way. Loads of options, loads and loads of options, guys. So there we go, that is the Tudor townhouse. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.